Welcome, guys, to the 47th episode of the Dapper Gaming Podcast for February 10th. I'm your host, Ryan, and with me, Joe, aka Badman Reviews, the, new permanent co-host. How fancy. Say hello, Joe.
Hello, how's it going? I'm sitting here talking about stuff, I guess.
That's generally what we do on this show.
And that's what I thought.
You've been on a few times. You
Just
know
a
the
few.
deal. You know the routine.
We talk about video games and other video game stuff.
Yeah, so Tyler can't do this show anymore just because time. It gets us all. He's just super busy with school. I'm not super busy with school because I have 3 classes left, so I'm just waiting around to graduate. So, what games have you been playing as of late?
Recently gotten back into Halo 3 and Halo 4, and I've been playing it a bunch with some old friends. It has been a good time. Oh, I also played Sonic 06 recently, and it made me want to kill myself.
Why would you play that? Why would you do that to yourself?
I plan on making a video on it, which means I have to play it, and I wanted to kill myself. It's really bad.
I don't think I could commit myself to that. Where you they announced Sonic Boom. They gave him a handkerchief, a scarf. So I should play Sonic 06.
Sonic Boom looks really good though. I'm excited for that.
They didn't really show anything. Everything they showed amounted to, look, we made these minor character changes in design that don't.
They showed some gameplay in the gameplay trailer.
Oh, I didn't watch that trailer. I just watched that stupid. There was like a press briefing. It was really bad.
Yeah, they showed gameplay trailer and trailer for the TV show. Gameplay trailer looks like it's going to be like 4-player co-op and stuff. Looks sweet.
The TV show. Oh god. It looks like they saw Adventure Time and were like, we could do that. And then don't actually understand what's good about Adventure Time. And so they just have like Dr. Eggman suing Sonic. I don't even understand. I don't understand.
From what I saw, it reminded me of like a Pixar movie.
The humor.
The humor.
I think it's bad. I don't know. I don't understand what they're doing with that property. They could do good things with Sonic, and they just choose not to. And every once in a while, they do something good with it, and then just abandon it. Like Generations was so good.
In colors.
They should have released DLC for Generations. I'm pissed they never released DLC for that. Like just new level packs.
Didn't they release like the pinball machine or something?
That we don't talk about that here.
Oh, okay.
Because that's such bullshit. They're like, we made a pinball machine themed after like the best Sonic level ever. Go have fun. And it's like, you could have just remade that level and released that. I'd pay you like $20 for that. God damn it!
I thought it was based off of like the old pinball Sonic game.
The mechanics are, but it's the level is Casino Nights. Like the theming of the pinball machine is Casino Nights, and there's like a few references mechanically about Casino Nights in it.
I'm not a huge retro Sonic guy, so I don't know too much about the classic stuff.
Oh well, it's like the best Sonic level ever. And
the only retro Sonic I played was the first one and the third one. The 1 or 3 for the Game Gear, which were both good.
Oh, I have all of them for my Genesis.
Yeah.
I grew up on the Genesis, so
the ones for the Game Gear are completely different than the ones for the Genesis.
Yeah,
like, completely different games.
I grew up on a Genesis, so I grew up with like Streets of Rage, Sonic. God, what else did I play? Shadowrun.
I grew up with
the Spider-Man Carnage game.
Okay, yeah,
That one's
that's a
awesome.
great game. That is an amazing game.
And then that one Batman game. There's like a
Don't know which.
side-scrolling Batman beat 'em up game that was pretty good.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know what one you're talking about. That was
Yeah,
also a game. There's some good beat 'em up superhero games back then.
man, fucking Carnage was so good. I love that game.
Yeah, it was.
I don't
Uh,
understand. Like, for some reason, people on the internet say that game is bad, but it's so fun.
really? People
Yeah,
think that game's bad?
I feel like
I don't
there's a bit of like a division about that because I know like
guess.
I
Everyone
watched.
I know says it's great.
Yeah, like some people say it's not good and kind of make fun of it. But even the angry video game nerd was like, "Oh my god, the company that only makes terrible games made something that wasn't bad."
Yeah,
Like there's a
I didn't even
whole
know it
there's
was made by them.
yeah, it was fuck, I can't remember who it's made by. I just remember that it's like an ongoing thing in
Yeah, it's
AVGN.
like the Rainbow Company.
Yeah. So, what else did you play besides Halo and Sonic 06?
Um, there was something, but I can't think of it right now. Oh, I recently started playing a game called Enslaved for the Xbox 360.
Yeah, that game just came out on PC a while ago.
Yeah, a couple of my
Yeah.
friends played it and they said it was good, so I decided to pick it up. And it's not bad. I'd say it's decent so far.
Yeah, it's like it's not a bad game. It's not a great game. It's
Yeah,
really weird that they released it to PC like years and years later.
yeah, that's
Cuz
weird
it
because that game came out a while ago.
yeah, like it literally came out like 2 months ago maybe. It's called like Enslaved Etrian Odyssey or something like that, right?
I don't know.
There's something about an Odyssey. I wouldn't worry about it.
Too late. Already worrying about it. Odyssey to the West.
Yeah, that's what it is. Odyssey to the West. I knew Odyssey was in there somewhere. But yeah, that game it's not bad. I never played much of it because I didn't play much 360. Mostly a PC gamer. And
Yeah,
now it's out on PC, but I'm probably not going to buy it because
I don't blame you.
that backlog so big.
I got it for $2 because the store around where I live was closing down.
Fair enough. I'd pretty much
Yep.
buy anything for $2. I think Steam sales have proven that.
Yeah, I got a lot of things for $2, like Dead Space. Dead Space was a good pickup.
Yeah, I think I bought Dead Space 1 and 2 in like a bundle for $5 last year.
Nice.
And then I got Dead Space 3 for free because I bought SimCity. I'll never buy SimCity again.
Yeah,
It was
but that
real
one break.
bad.
Is it still bad?
Yes.
Because I know it was horrible at launch, but I don't know what it's like
It
now.
was unplayable at launch because you couldn't log in. Now it's just bad. Like it's just a bad game. The cities are
Oh,
too small, so they just like break down and become impossible to maintain because they're like, we need more police. It's like, well, there's literally no more land, so I don't know what you want me to do.
that sucks.
And traffic never improves because people just go to the biggest roads possible, like only take the shortest possible route. And so even if there's like a bunch of empty residential streets or like smaller streets, they're just like, nope, take the highway, and everyone gets stuck on the highway. They're just like, well then, okay. And then they get mad that traffic is too terrible, and then you put in a ton of buses and no one takes the bus, and then you put in a train and no one takes the train, and then they're stuck on the highway still, and you're just like, whatever. Because they take the shortest possible route, and so if the bus is slightly longer, they won't take it. It's just like,
That's dumb.
damn you, terrible AI.
I remember
What's
my
wrong
one
with you?
friend just made like a snake road through his whole town. Just one long road.
Terrible game.
Yeah.
So this week, I played a bunch of games that I don't normally play.
What'd you play?
I've been playing a lot of Counter-Strike Global Offensive, which is the Counter-Strike that came out last year, because Counter-Strike is the only FPS I like.
Yeah, Counter Strike is good.
what happened is that my friend was like, you should play Loadout. And I was like, I don't have anything to do this week. I'll try this and maybe I'll make a video or something. Played it for all of 30 minutes and was like, this is boring. Because it's like too easy. I haven't unlocked anything but the like standard gun that you start with. And I was going like 30 and 5. And I was like, you know what? This game is real easy. Like, the shooting mechanics are just point, hold down left mouse button, and the person dies. So...
Sounds like Call of Duty.
It's not as fun as COD.
Oh, God.
Yeah. They're like, look at us, we're silly. We censor out genitals, and I don't... The game has,
weird.
like, a stupid sense of humor that I could get behind, but it's just not fun. So then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna play some Counter-Strike.
What about TF2?
I like TF2.
Okay.
Not as much as I like Counter-Strike. I like TF2, but it's not as good as it used to be. When it went free to play, like, they basically killed off all the servers that I used to play on. So it's like, oh, well, now I can't play these awesome custom maps.
I only played free to play, and compared to the Xbox 360 version, that was amazing.
Oh, I bet it was a lot better, but
yeah,
when that game was pay to play,
never got an update.
Yeah, well, you can blame Microsoft for that.
Yep.
But the pay to play version that was on PC, like, you had to buy the orange box to get it.
Yeah.
There was no matchmaking at that point, so it was all about community servers, and the community servers were really good and had a lot of awesome mods on them that made them very fun, like instant respawn and a bunch of stuff like that. And it was really fun, and now none of them exist anymore because Valve's like, we're gonna put in matchmaking, and now you just get matchmaked in and end up on like my favorite map of all time, I can't play anymore because it's not an official map. So
that sucks.
Yeah, kind of crappy, but whatever. Then I played a bunch of Dota 2.
Nice.
Which is real fun. I know how to play that game because every few months I'm like, I'm gonna get into Dota 2, and then I play it nonstop for a couple weeks and then don't play it anymore because I'm like, I'm too busy to play Dota. I got something else to do, which is basically what's happening right now, is that I don't have anything else to play, so I'm like, I'm gonna play Dota. But next week a game called Banished comes out, and that's the game that I'm gonna review this month.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm not gonna have any time to play Dota, and then I'm gonna stop playing Dota until like the middle of March when I'm waiting for the next game to get released, and then that will come out. Then I'll stop playing Dota again. But I've been playing a ton of Dota. I think I've been doing the right thing for learning that game. I just go into bot matches, play as a random hero, and then like I pick random, play them in the bot match like twice, and then I go into a player match and then play the character I just played in the bot match so that I can like keep playing them to learn them. So I've been like playing Omni Knight, Tidehunter, lots of Tidehunter. I like Tidehunter. I'm actually good with Tidehunter. Windrunner, well, she's called Wind Ranger now, but she used to be called Windrunner. They've been changing the names of all of the heroes so that they don't like clash with the old Dota 1 names, because all the Dota 1 names are named after Warcraft characters. So like Windrunner is the name of a character in Warcraft lore, and was the name of a character in Dota 1, and was the name of a character in Dota 2, but now she's called Wind Ranger because that copyright.
Yep.
And like Skeleton King is the Wraith King now, and stuff like that.
Definitely like a good idea though, just so like even when you are playing, if someone else is playing someone that you've already like played, then you kind of know their playing style and what they're gonna do. Yeah,
and also I've been learning how to actually control that game because it's a lot harder to control than LoL. In that, like the proper way to play that game is to have your 4 abilities on like 1, 2, 3, 4, have the camera on WASD, and then have all of your items on ZXC VBN, like the letters across the bottom.
Yeah,
because in that game, like I've been playing a lot of Tidehunter. He has 3 active abilities and then a passive. But he's like a really heavy item use character. So by the time that I'm done, like when I play Tidehunter, I normally have 6 usable items. So I normally end up having 9 abilities at the end of the game instead of 3. And so like that game is so heavily about using items and item building, like in a way that League is not, that you need to have those on hotkeys. Because like Tidehunter, you use the blink dagger to like blink into the middle of the enemy team, and then you use your ultimate to stun all of them. Then you use your 3, which like reduces their damage by 50%. Then you like use 1 to slow a straggler, and then you use like Shiva's guard to blow them all up with this ice damage thing that slows them all down, and then you use your drums to speed up your teammates and increase their attack damage. Like, it's just about using like this long list of items basically after you ultimate.
Total old in StarCraft are just like too confusing. Like I could definitely get into them, but it's like so much to remember, and I'm not cool with that.
Dota is like got so much more to remember than LoL.
Yeah, definitely.
It's ludicrous. But I've been having a ton of fun playing that. I have had pretty much only good matches, except for a match that I had today that we won, but almost lost because this dude who didn't speak English was in the English server going, we, ha, ha, ha. And I was like, oh, God damn it. And then feeding the other team. And then at the end, I was like, I'm Tidehunter. I don't give any shits. Blink, Tidal Rage, just fucking kill everyone with my ultimate. And then we pulled it out. Even though Wind Ranger fed so hard. But we won. So I've been playing a bunch of that, and then I've been playing like Dragon Age Origins just because I started playing that again. Just because. Nice. Because, I don't know, it's fun. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing. Like, I'm getting really stoked for Banished. It looks really fun. Like, it looks like a really good city builder, even though you're not really building a city. You're like building a settlement, kind of. It's really simulation heavy. Like, it's a really realistic sim. So it's a game that I've been waiting for months, and it's gonna be here next week. One more week. Comes out on the 18th.
I think what I'm waiting for is A Hat in Time, and I think the alpha comes out on like the 16th. So that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, did you donate enough to get in the alpha, or?
Yeah, well, I didn't donate to the Kickstarter because I didn't have money at the time, but if you go to their website, there's like a late buy-in thing that you can do, so I bought in.
Yeah, I don't have any money for any, like, I don't have money to buy other games because I want to buy it. Like, one of the things that's really hard right now is like, I was like, I could buy a game right now, like a newish game, and then like I look at everything that's like been released that's not really done. They're like all Steam early access games or like in alpha or in beta. Like EverQuest Next EverQuest Next Landmark launched last week, which is like EverQuest is like an EverQuest tool set that you build stuff in, and you can like sell the things that you make to be used in EverQuest Next, which is the new EverQuest MMO. Yeah. And that launched last week, but it's in alpha. It's $60, but it's in alpha. Like, most of the features aren't there, so why would you want to play that? And then like Starbound is out, but once again, it's like in beta. Like some of the features aren't there yet.
Doesn't it come out of beta soon? Or am I totally wrong?
I don't think it comes out of beta soon. I think they're done doing character wipes. They said that a couple weeks ago, but I don't think it comes out of beta soon. It could. Oh, yeah. I think it comes out this year, but I don't think it's out of beta like next month or something like that. God, what else? DayZ, same thing. Like, it's in alpha. Yeah. Rust, in alpha. Like, everything that's a top seller right now is in alpha, and I'm just like, you know what? I just want to play like a game that's done.
Yeah.
Like,
I've seen some awesome stuff on Rust. Like, I'm not typically interested in those kind of games, but I've seen some awesome like videos. Like, of like some guy in his hut, and then like five random douchebags come up and try to break into his hut, steal all this stuff, and he just puts on a bunch of Kevlar and like 1v5s all the guys.
All my friends are playing Rust right now, but I sort of refuse to play it based on the principle that by the time that game's done, I'm not going to want to play it anymore because I'll have played too much of it, like in alpha.
Yep.
And that's the same reason why I won't buy Starbound right now, because fucking by the time it comes out, I'm not going to want to play it anymore. Like, I'm never going to see the finished version of them.
Yeah. That's happened with me in Minecraft. After, like, I played during, like, alpha and beta, and then once the full game came out, I just, like, I wasn't into it anymore.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that anymore. Like, I want to play games that are good, that are done. Also, I feel like once you're charging money for stuff, like, one of the big things about Rust and, like, DayZ, those games aren't particularly good yet. Like, but it seems like people are saying they're basically immune to criticism because, oh, it's an early build and it's not done. But you're taking my money.
Yeah.
So if I say it's not good, like that, it still stands for something because you're taking my money. So yeah, I can't be bothered with any of that stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead.
I bought into the Hat in Time alpha early just because, like, I really want to get my hands on that as soon as possible, and I definitely don't think I'll be over it by the time the full game comes out. Mostly because I don't think the full story is being released until the full game comes out.
Yeah, the thing is that like DayZ, there's not really like a story campaign to finish, right? And so like you just get bored of the gameplay mechanic. Whereas at least like a Hat in Time, there's a story there that can engage you and pull you through the rest of the way. Like, it's why I managed to play Path of Exile in alpha, in beta, and at release. And it's because like in alpha there was only one act. I played it a bunch, and I was like, got tired of the mechanics. I was like, you know what, I'm done. Then they went into beta. They released the second act of the story, and I was like, I'm gonna play it because I want to see what the second act is. Played it a bunch of times. This was months later. I hadn't played the game in a while. I kept playing the game because I liked the mechanics, and then I got tired of the mechanics again. And then the game released, and the third act was out, and then I played it a bunch, like for a few more months again, and then I got tired of the mechanics again, and I stopped playing. But it managed to pull me back in because there was new story, there was totally new content. Whereas like DayZ is not going to be like, here's a new story mission. Like, no.
Yeah, definitely.
So like they can't introduce something to bring you back in. Whereas like a game that has a more traditional story can. Like World of Warcraft has pulled me back in with every goddamn expansion. They're like, new story, and I'm like, okay then. Even though I hate that game mechanically.
Is the DayZ you're talking about? That's they're like releasing a full new game that's not like it's part of Arma 2, right?
Yeah, it's already out. Like,
that's what you're talking about.
It's in early access.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I refuse to buy it because I'm not gonna enjoy it 2 months down the line, and it's still not gonna be done 2 months down the line. So yeah, I'll just wait it out. I did something else this week besides play games. I redid the podcast template and redid the logo and everything for this channel.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I think they're a lot cleaner looking.
I can't wait to see them.
You'll see them when I release this video. I
will.
Yes, completely redesigned the channel because I didn't like the old design anymore.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I think this is much cleaner looking, and so it will stay until I have money to pay someone to properly make a logo, because I didn't do much to make this. I modified a font type slightly. Mostly because I'm lazy. I was like, I'm going to draw out my own logo from it, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to do this. I started doing it, and I was like, I just can't get this edge right. And there's this font here that has almost everything I want. All I have to do is edit that flourish on the end of this one letter. I'm just gonna edit the flourish on the end of the one letter. So then I took the lazy man's way out.
I am super bad at Photoshop, so when
I
it
was
comes
using
to branding and stuff, I hate it.
I was using Illustrator because Photoshop is not good for making logos. Because we want to go, like, you want to work in vector graphics so that they're infinitely scalable so that you can, like, make them really small for web stuff and then make them really big for print stuff.
Yeah.
So, I was using Illustrator, which is a lot harder to use than Photoshop, but...
Yep, that's why I use Photoshop.
It's super useful. Let's jump into some news. Unless you have anything else that you want to talk about from this week.
No, I think I've hit everything that I've been doing recently other than being sick.
Sickness.
Yep.
I
Probably still hear it in my voice a little bit.
A little. I am not sick. Instead, I have the whole week off. Why I did that channel redesign, I was like, that's what I'm going to do with my week off. And then it took me like one night. I was like, fuck, what am I going to do with my week off?
Play video games.
Yep. So, I feel like the first piece of news, because I didn't cover it last week, there was a huge Eve battle, man. I love Eve in that it sounds ludicrous. I refuse to play it anymore, because it's not very fun. But whatever. It's like worse than
fun.
Yeah, but you're barely playing. So here's the thing. The thing about Eve is that it takes months and months and months to get into because you have like things and only like a few, I guess, like groups of people have any influence. Like you need to be part of these like mega corporations to actually influence the game world, which is the part of that game that is cool. And so it's such a huge investment that I'm not willing to make, and the actual game itself is not particularly fun. It just sounds ludicrous. So I follow Eve a lot because I used to play Eve. I also used to be part of a forum where Eve is really big. I guess, like, yeah, sure. I used to be on Something Awful, and they're the Goon Swarm, and they're involved in this story. So, there was a huge battle last week that is being, like, commemorated with an actual, like, memorial inside of Eve, because it was so ludicrous in that I think it was, like, 75 Titans got destroyed, which are, they're, like, they're basically the biggest, I guess, ship in the game. Like, when one Titan gets destroyed, it's a big deal in Eve. But, instead, I think it was, like, 70 of them got wrecked or something like that. So, a Titan takes, like, more than a month to build, like, of actual human time. And it costs 40 billion ISK, or ISK, which is, like, the in-game currency. And before this battle, the most Titans ever destroyed in a single battle was 12. And in this one, there were 75. So, That's times ridiculous. As many. Completely ludicrous. And the battle lasted like 21 human hours or something like that. I think it was even more than that. So what happened is basically you have these like sectors that you pay, like, you have to pay like I guess like a rent on, basically. Like, you have a monthly bill to keep it locked down, and if you don't pay your bill, then people can come in and like take over the sector, which involves basically building like a station that takes 8 real life hours to build. Like, it takes 8 hours to build. And this is where the time dilation that Eve implements comes in. So Eve is built up of a bunch of really complex algorithms that get ran, like when you perform actions like in a space battle. And so when the space battle's really, really big, the computer can't process it fast enough to actually run it in real time. And so there's time dilation that occurs. And so although what passed was like 8 hours of in-game time, it took 21 hours real time to process all of it. And so this battle took a whole day to like take place. And so when you were making moves in this battle to take over this sector, you were making moves that wouldn't play out until like 4 hours in the future. And Eve is like purely about math, where like you just work out the numbers. Like what happens is you start the fight and then it's like, well, I can see exactly what they have and exactly what I have. No one else can get into this fight anymore because the time dilation is so intense that it will take them literally all of today to get here. So the battle will be over by then. And so then you just start working out the numbers about who's going to win this fight, basically. Has nothing to do with tactics. It's just like, he's got more better ships than me, so I'm going to lose. And so Goon Swarm, the guys from SA, they had their guys. Oh fuck, who was it? Yeah, Pandemic. Okay, so Pandemic, which is part of like Goon Swarm, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not wrong, I'm pretty sure that's correct. It's been a long time since I've read about Eve because nothing interesting's happened in the last like couple months. But they had infiltrated the other corporations ranks, and so they had other people like playing for the other team, basically. Like they had spies, and so their spies had reported back that they were going to win the battle and that the numbers were in their favor. And so like Manny, the like Pandemic, which was led by Manny, like kept pushing over the one system because they had been in like this stalemate battle with this one, or like this stalemate war with this one corporation for like months now, where they basically couldn't move at all. And so what happened is that this bill didn't get paid, and then there's also the Russians who are like the wild card in this. The Russians are fucking crazy because like the thing about Eve is that because it takes so long for stuff to happen, you have to like rely on people in other time zones to work with you. And so when this bill lapsed, everyone in North America was asleep at the time, but the Russians were all on. Like the Russian players had all been on. And so the Russians noticed that the bill wasn't paid, and they didn't, instead of like invading right away, which is what they could have done, they waited until the people who didn't pay their bill had like realized they didn't pay the bill and started setting up their station. And so like right at the end of the like 8 hours that it takes to set up your station so that you can like reclaim the sector, the Russians like invaded and destroyed it. And then by the time that the Russians had like invaded and destroyed it, everyone in North America was like getting up and starting to play again, and they're like, oh shit, this sector's available, even though it should never be available ever. And so that's how this all started and got real fucking crazy. And then like $330,000 worth of stuff got wrecked, even though it's not really worth $330,000 because the conversion on that's real silly. But yes, Eve got real silly this week.
It sounds pretty crazy.
And now there's going to be a huge monument. But
I wonder what it's going to look like.
I wonder as well, because if you see pictures of it,
I think it should be 70 Titans exploding.
They're apparently going to put like to help fix the economy in the game because it's like been destroyed now that basically all of the Titans in the game got wrecked. They're like, we need to try to fix the economy, so we're just going to leave a bunch of like scrap so that you guys can harvest it and build more Titans. It got real silly real quick. If you want to know more about that story, I would read Giant Bomb's article on it because it's really good. There's a lot of interviews in it about like between the two sides. But yeah, Giant Bomb, the place for Eve stuff. I don't know. Eve is a real silly game. I really like. I love the ideas behind Eve. I don't like playing it.
I don't think I could play it either.
It's too much of an investment. So there's another thing from this week that I'm pretty pleased about. So Amnesia Fortnite 2014 started on the Humble Bundle.
What's this?
Amnesia Fortnite is a Double Fine event where every year for 2 weeks they just do like a game, like an in-house game jam. And in 2012 they opened it up to the public so that like you would vote and then like pick which games you wanted them to make. And that's how another game that they're making right now alongside Broken Age and that other Kickstarter game that they did, Space DF9. It's like a space city management game.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, but that's how like that's Amnesia Fortnite is what that game comes out of. And this year they have a guest game designer in Pendleton Ward. He is designing some prototypes for games. And you can watch his pitch on the Humble Bundle. I liked when I participated in 2012. I don't have the like $8 right now to do it, so I'm not going to do it.
I was looking into it, but like a lot of the games that are in that bundle, I already have.
Oh, this isn't the weekly sale or a bundle. This is totally different. You wouldn't have any of the games in this. These are all prototypes. You don't even get the final games because they don't necessarily get made into games.
Oh, okay.
You just like vote on what prototype you like the most, basically, and then they consider making it into a game later. This is like, yeah, it's crazy. So some of the games that they have are actually pretty interesting. There's the 4 games by Pendleton Ward that all sound ludicrous. Like, God, I don't really like them because he's like, this would work really well on iOS. And I was like, oh, I don't want to buy an iPhone game. But there's like one called like Cupid, You Fat Little Scamp, where you like his like bow has broken, so he has to just like stab people with his arrows. And the like goal of the game is that you like get dropped into a level and there would be like a robber shooting at a cop and the cop shooting back. What you have to do is like avoid the bullets and then stab both of them with the arrow so that they fall in love with each other and stop shooting at each other. I was like, that's interesting. And it's like a 2D platforming game.
Do you know what else like this guy is designed? Like what other games this guy's done?
None. He's the guy behind Adventure Time.
Oh, okay.
He hasn't actually. He's not a game designer. He's an animator. So his ideas are a little ludicrous. For example, like he pitched a game called No More McDonald's, which is like a zombie MMO that sounds insane, and that I don't know how you would build it like without years and years of time and millions of dollars. So like super overly ambitious and just something that like someone who has never designed a game before would pitch.
Yeah.
So probably won't make it. There's some other cool ones though. Like there's a game called Steed where you play as a horse and you have to like help these completely inept adventurers like complete their quests. There's like a point and click adventure game called What Could Go Wrong that is themed after like 1970s and 80s horror slasher flicks. I don't know, like they sound neat. They're just like
they all
these
sound like good ideas.
Yeah, and there's like
all
12
definitely
of them.
Interesting.
There's a bunch of them too. Yeah, there was like 30 of them, but I think only like 12 of them end up getting made into actual like prototypes.
Yeah.
But Amnesia Fortnite has started, and that is always interesting. Like, even if you don't buy it, it's always just interesting to like look at the games that they pitch.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out.
Alrighty, so this is about the halfway mark of this podcast. So I think it's about time that I read this ad. Gotta read the sponsorship ad. They're important. We gotta make that not podcast money.
They're beautiful people.
So, for you, the listeners of the Dapper Gaming Podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. This week, I'm going to suggest that you listen to Wild Swans, Three Daughters of China, because it's one of the very few books that I've ever read and actually enjoyed reading. It's about, like, 3 generations of women growing up in China during the initial revolution in China, and then like the communist revolution, and then the cultural revolution. China has a lot of revolutions, if you didn't know. But it's one of the few books that I've ever actually read and enjoyed, and so I would totally suggest listening to that. To download your free audiobook, you can go to audibletrial.com/dapper. Again, that's audibletrial.com/dapper for your free audiobook. Yeah, that's it. That's the ad. That's all you gotta do.
That was a good ad.
Yeah, solid.
Beautiful.
Things happened.
Things definitely did happen.
So there is a bunch of there's a bunch of news. Start off with a Call of Duty thing. I feel like that's easy. I feel like it's an easy story. So, Call of Duty is now on a 3-year cycle with 3 developers instead of a 2-year cycle with 2 developers.
Thank God.
And Sledgehammer Games got totally fucked. And that this year they're the guys who got stuck with that game. And I don't think this is going to be a good year for Call of Duty. Mostly because the new consoles are out. This one's mostly designed for next-gen consoles, and I don't think a lot of people are going to own them this year, like in comparison to other years. So I don't think this is the year to sell 90 million copies or whatever they sell.
I don't
It's
know.
9 million, not 90, by the way. I shouldn't have said 90. Because, I mean, like, GTA 5, the best-selling game of all time at this point, or, like, the second best-selling game of all time, I think, has sold, like, 35 million. So.
Well, if you look at, like, the sales for the PS4 and the Xbox 360, they're both near, like, 5 million consoles sold so far.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. PS4 has sold, like, 4.5 million.
Sold, like, 2.5.
Last time I checked, it was 4.5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because they just announced that they hit like 2 million like last month.
Huh. And like the PS4 still hasn't had its like relaunch yet, which I'm still waiting for. You literally still can't get like an Xbox One or a PS4 anywhere where I live.
Oh, so I guess PS4 has hit 4.2. Okay, then.
Yep. And
Wow.
I don't know what the Xbox One has hit. I think it's like at 3.8 or something. So they have sold a good amount of consoles. And like by the time, because it's going to take like what 3 years for the next COD to come out, since they're on that 3-year cycle.
No, it's 3 developers that get to work for 3 years on their COD. They're on a 1-year cycle still. There's a new COD every year.
Oh, what?
It's that they get 3 years to work on their Call of Duty instead of 2.
Well, okay, so it's like, all right, I see what you're
There's a new one every year, but because there's 3 different developers, they get 3 years to work and not 2 years to work.
What did Sledgehammer make?
They helped Infinity Ward make Call of Duty.
Like which one? All of them?
Like the last couple ones.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that. Didn't they start in like Modern Warfare 3?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean now. Like this next one coming up probably won't sell too well.
Yeah, just because people won't own the console.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is like not the year to get stuck with it.
Yeah, definitely. That's for sure.
Especially because like based off of Ghosts, it's like the first time where they haven't broken their old sales records for opening day.
Yeah.
So it's like they got stuck with a series that is now on like its decline, and this year they're probably going to get blamed for making a bad COD, even though they just made COD.
Yeah. I think Infinity Ward might pull out something really cool multiplayer wise. And then Treyarch will obviously have a huge amount of sales just because of Nazi zombies. That's pretty much how it usually goes.
Yeah,
from my own personal opinion. I don't think Treyarch's Call of Duty multiplayer has ever been that amazing.
It doesn't matter. They're both bad. All of Call of Duty is bad.
Yeah, well, if you're looking at from like someone's point of view who actually like really enjoys Call of Duty, I would definitely say Infinity Ward makes the better game, multiplayer wise. Campaign wise, Treyarch does it best. I know a lot of people hate Call of Duty though.
It's just so boring. It hasn't been good since number 4. Or since 4. COD 4, Modern Warfare.
Black Ops 1 was when I started to die down out of it. Like I liked everything up to Black Ops 1, and then I started as soon as Modern Warfare 3 hit, I was like, this isn't that good anymore.
Let's move on to some other news. Jesus. This one's strange. I don't understand why it happened. So Namco Bandai is no longer. They are now Bandai Namco.
So they just switched their names around?
Yeah.
That is amazing. That is the best marketing I've ever heard in my life.
Basically Namco Bandai is owned by a holdings company called Bandai Namco. And so Bandai Namco's like, we should just make all of the names the same. So now everything that is Namco Bandai is now Bandai Namco.
All right, then.
So yes, my mind has been blown. Let's actually jump to the next piece of news. I just wanted to say that while I stalled, so that I could open this article and then read a couple lines of it. There's a new Sonic called Sonic Boom.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, how did they not use that name already?
I don't know. That's a good point.
It has been too long to get to this point. That's such a giveaway name. And they didn't even use it until now. So, there's a new Sonic game. Sonic goes fast and has a scarf, and his face doesn't look quite right.
Knuckles is upper body day every day.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. He looks so strange.
He looks like a big badass, and I think that's how Knuckles should look.
I like Knuckles in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. That's what he should look like.
I think Knuckles was too skinny.
No, it's fine. He's so strange looking now. He doesn't look like he doesn't even look like he's of a similar species. I do know that he is not the same species because Sonic is a hedgehog and Knuckles is like an
echidna.
Echidna, yep.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. I just couldn't remember how to pronounce it at the time.
I like how all the characters look, especially Tails. Tails looks really good.
They look really strange to me. They have like a weird texture thing going on, and Sonic's face isn't quite proportioned right from this picture I'm looking at. It's creeping me out, man.
I don't know. As someone who's been into like Sonic, as someone who's only been into Sonic new generation wise, since GameCube, since GameCube Sonic, I I like where they're going with this, and especially since it's not like the main series Sonic, it's more like a spin-off. It's not like the straight up Sega. So we're still gonna have the normal Sonic, but we're also gonna have Sonic Boom.
He just looks really strange.
I like how he looks.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll come out. I might play it. I'll probably play it. I still mean to buy Lost Worlds. I should do that this month.
Not that great.
I liked the demo that I played.
Yeah, from what I heard, everyone liked the demo, and then the game came out. I guess, like...
I don't know. Everything I've heard is that it's not a bad game. It's just not amazing. It's not as good as the demo, because the demo's, like, front-loaded.
I heard it's, like, mediocre. I've heard, like, it gets better the second time you play it. So, like, if you beat it once, you'll be like, oh, this is crap. But then you play it the second time, and then you're like, okay, this is pretty good. It's like, you shouldn't need to play a game twice to think it's good.
Yeah, I don't know. I might get it. It's hard because there's so many games and I'm on a budget now for...
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, I've got so little school left. I should probably just stop spending money until I have, like, proper income. It's so close to being here. I'll be a software engineer. I'll just be rolling around in normal amounts of money. Normal members of society's income will be amazing. I'll be able to afford things. I mean, it won't be like Flappy Bird money, but a fucking be money. More money than I have now, which is negative money. Money, one of the few things you can have negative money of. You can't have like negative food. You can't. Yeah, but I am on money. Bad joke.
$20 in my wallet. That's what I got.
Oh, Jesus. I wish I had $20. So
trust me, it'll be gone by tomorrow, and it'll be in my gas tank.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to go put that $20 into. My gas tank. So, you know what Flappy Bird is, right?
Yes, everyone's been talking about that thing.
Yeah, that not helicopter. I know, right?
I know. Have you seen the iPhone on eBay with Flappy Birds on it? Currently going for about $80,000.
$99,000, but it's an unverified bid. So what's probably gonna happen is that it's not gonna sell for $99,000.
Yep. Last time when I looked yesterday, it was at 80, and now that it's up to like 99. Jeez.
Yeah. So, if you don't know what Flappy Bird is, Flappy Bird was a really stupid iPhone and Android and Windows Phone game. They didn't take it off the Windows Phone market for whatever reason. But, it's a really stupid mobile game where you click the screen and the bird flies up a little bit. It's just like Helicopter, which is another game that exists. That was a Flash game 10 years ago. And... And Flappy Bird has Mario pipes for whatever reason, and there's a bird. And it got really, really popular. So popular.
Fly through the pipes.
Yeah, and you fly through the pipes that have broken hitboxes. And the game got really popular and made the developer $50,000 a day in ad revenue. And
that's
then the
just
developer...
an amount.
Nah, that's... Dude,
that's
did you see? Did you see what? Oh, fuck, who is it? Supercell, the guys who made Clash of Clans, make. You know how much money they're making a day?
A lot.
Over $5 million. I would kill.
Yeah, but see, Clash of Clans is like pay to win game, and people fucking put a shit ton of money into like gems or whatever in that game. And it's just stupid. Flappy Bird was just going on Flappy Bird was just going off of ad revenue, and that is not true. I have played many great phone games.
None of them
like
were good.
Slaying. Slaying is an amazing phone game.
I haven't heard of it.
It's good.
But yeah. So Flappy Bird, it got taken off the market because basically like the guy lives in Thailand, and so him making all of this money and becoming like internationally known for making Flappy Bird, which is not a good game, brought him a bunch of attention that he didn't want for having all that money. Because as someone who used to live in a country where you get kidnapped for having money, I understand his pain. Because if you just start to get really rich and everyone knows you have money, you have to leave. And since he just all of a sudden had a lot of money, he probably wasn't ready to leave. And now he's stuck in Thailand with a bunch of money. It's dangerous is what I'm saying. So he took it off the app market because there was like too much attention about it. Also, people like me were saying that his game wasn't good. So there's that.
He's also getting some death threats. Never fun.
Yeah. The internet's real strange.
I guess some people found another game that was exactly like Flappy Birds, except just different textures that was released before his game.
Oh, I didn't hear or see that.
Yeah, I forget where I saw it, but there was an article on it.
Doesn't even matter.
Nope.
But yeah, Flappy Bird's real. One day I will understand why people like play not games.
Well, when I'm sitting in my classroom and I don't have my 3DS dies, what I usually go to is my phone.
I don't enjoy those phone games, so I just don't play them.
Some people also just don't have the mindset to play actual video games. I know plenty of people who can't even play like the original Mario. But they're usually older people, like my mom, or
that's fair.
Like grandparents or something. They're like, "This is fun. I can click the screen and the bird flies."
I don't like those people. But yeah, Flappy Bird no longer exists, and people are flipping their shit over it.
Yep.
But I don't care.
Neither do I.
Shit. What else? There was something else that happened this week that I was gonna.
Great games like this to play.
Sonic 06 is not a great game. You should never mention that game here again.
All right.
Did you see that Double Helix? The guys who, I can't see what that game is because your camera's too.
It was Donkey Konga. Don't even worry about it.
Did you see that Double Helix got bought up by Amazon this week?
Yes, I heard that.
So if you don't know who Double Helix is, they made a bunch of bad movie games. Like they made Battleship the movie the game. They made the Green Lantern the movie the game. By the way, these games aren't called the movie the game. They're just, I'm just putting the movie so that you know they're a movie property. But they made a bunch of bad movie games, and then they made Killer Instinct, which wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't.
They're like, basically everyone who owns an Xbox One's like, the only thing actually worth owning on this thing is Killer Instinct, and it's free. Yeah.
Yep. It's interesting because I've heard stuff about Amazon wanting to like build their own console and get in the console war.
People have been saying that for years.
Yeah, I know. If they tried, probably wouldn't go well for them anyway, so I'd advise that they stick away from it.
Yeah, I don't know what they would do. Like, they have... So the thing is that they've been...
Killer Instinct console.
It looks like they've been... Amazon looks like they've been building their own fork of Android forever. Because there's a fork for Kindle, and they have like their own store and stuff for Android. So it doesn't seem unlikely that they would try and make an Android console. It just seems real crazy that they would bother.
Yep.
Because
especially
it would be such a huge investment.
Right,
well, it would be a huge investment, and I mean, both Sony and Microsoft have never really seen much money from their console division. Well, that's not true in this case of Sony. Sony actually has made money off their console division. It's like their most profitable division because everything in Sony seems to die. But it still doesn't make enough money for Sony to potentially make it through the next decade. And in the case of Microsoft, like, when they were searching for new CEOs, like, half of them were just straight up like, yeah, we just sell Xbox because they don't make any money. And I was like, okay. Because Xbox, like, the Xbox division at Microsoft is the black sheep of Microsoft because it does not make any money. It just costs them money. And they don't seem to really like it at all.
How can it not make money with fucking, like, $60 memberships a year?
R&D costs. It takes several years to, like, the original Xbox never made any money at all. It never turned a profit. And the Xbox 360, although it started to turn a profit in, like, the last half of its lifespan, because of the R&D from that, like, because the consoles for, like, the first half of their lifespan they're sold at a loss, right? So for every, like, Xbox that were sold, they lost, like, $80 or something like that. And then they started making money, and they needed to make up the money from R&D, make up the money from selling at a loss for several years, then make up the money from the Red Ring of Death budget, which was supposed to be $1 billion, but ended up being a lot more than that. And so they actually never really turned a profit, or at least one that was not considered negligible. And so the general outlook a lot of the time on the console divisions of companies is, we could just sell this thing and we'd never have to deal with it ever again. And so I just don't see why a company like Amazon would want to get into that business and then sit around with this fucking thing that doesn't make any goddamn money.
That sucks, though. Like, to see, like, these two companies constantly not make money from a console, and the fact that the console could probably not exist in the next decade, and to think of what we might have.
Well, the thing about
PC.
Sony is that Sony does make money off their console, and this generation's a lot better on the, like, selling at a loss thing, and that they're only losing, like, $5 a console or something like that, instead of, like, I'm pretty sure the PS3, they were, like, losing $200 a machine at launch.
Wow.
Yeah, it was real.
And then they had to lower the price.
Yeah, but to do that, they got rid of a lot of the stuff that was costing them a lot of money. When they lowered the price, they got rid of the backwards compatibility, which cost a lot of money, because the only way to do that was to stick a PS2 in there.
True.
But, the thing about PlayStation is that they're owned by Sony, and Sony is a company that does not do well financially in any department, and so PlayStation could cease to exist in that Sony can go bankrupt. Nintendo's kind of in the same position.
Yeah, Nintendo's getting there.
As Sony was, like, with the PS3, and that Sony they had, like, a bunch of money, but they weren't making any money. They were losing money last generation. I mean, eventually they started to turn a profit, and they're doing really well with the PS4, but they weren't making much money off the PS3, if any, and every other department that they had was losing money, and so they basically ran through their, like, savings. And Nintendo's pretty much in that position right now as well, in that they're not making any money off the Wii U, they aren't turning a profit, and they're just eating through their savings, and now they have a shitload of money that they've been saving for a rainy day, and the rainy day is here, and now we need to see if the ton of money that they spend in a way that makes them profitable again. Because Nintendo has, like,
on someone who knows how to fucking market.
Well, they have, like, $80 billion sitting in the goddamn bank, and so it's all about seeing what they're gonna do with that. And so, like, this week Nintendo said that they were looking into, like, mergers and acquisitions, which is really interesting because the term merger generally means that you're being bought out by a bigger company or merging with a company of the same size. And an acquisition means that you bought stuff. I mean, that's what that means. But an acquisition and a merger are the same thing. In in practical terms, but in business terms, like, merger generally means you got bought. And so it's interesting that they would say that they're looking into mergers and acquisitions, but I am interested to see what they buy or get bought by.
Be cool to see Sony and Nintendo.
No, that would never happen.
It'd be so cool, though.
No, man, just sell it to Disney.
Oh, God.
Think about it. You could have Nintendo games with Disney characters, and you have Disney movies with Nintendo characters. You could have a Zelda movie and a Mario movie, and they wouldn't be bad.
I don't want that.
And they wouldn't be bad.
I can't even imagine that.
You can't imagine a not bad Mario movie?
No, I can't.
Has the Mario movie scarred you so deeply?
That and the Zelda cartoon.
Oh, fuck yeah. There was a Zelda cartoon. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I remember that.
Oh, man, I wiped that out of my mind.
Too late.
Damn you. But, like, there's a lot of interesting things that Nintendo could do because they have a ton of money. So I'm just kind of interested to see what they try and do.
They could go back to selling cards and Legos.
No.
No.
Like, Microsoft is always going to be a profitable company. I mean, they're a hugely profitable Actually, that's crazy.
Obviously.
They make a lot of money, but they don't make nearly as much money as they did in the 90s. They, like, lost 90% of their revenue under Steve Ballmer, which is insane. But, like, Microsoft isn't going to stop existing. Sony could stop existing. Like, they're literally a company that doesn't have enough money to potentially continue to exist forever. Nintendo, they're not in anything else, though, but games. Like, they're the only game console manufacturer that is only in games. Because, like, Xbox is floated by Microsoft Office. And, like, Sony survived because of TVs and cameras and a ton of, and, like, Sony Music and Sony Pictures.
Yeah.
As well as PlayStation. Like, they were all slightly profitable. Oh, my phone just fell. All of those, like, divisions were slightly profitable, which made Sony quite profitable. But, right now, none of those divisions are profitable. So
yay.
So they're not making any money. But Nintendo only has games. They have nothing else, and so it's going to be interesting to see what they do to get themselves out of the spot. Because, like, are they going to buy up, like, a television network and move into other businesses, or are they going to,
or maybe they'll go the way of Sega,
try to make more games?
Who knows? We could see them go the way of Sega. And
well, even Sega's not just a game company. I mean, like, Sega and Capcom are involved in, like, pachinko machines and horse racing, and I'm pretty sure Capcom owns, Love Hotels in Japan. That's, like, one of their other businesses.
That's weird.
Yeah, and so, like, no one who's in games besides, like, Western publishers are only in games. And so it just is real strange that Nintendo is only in games. Imagine if there was a Nintendo-themed Love Hotel. Huh?
I would go there.
Yeah, you'd go get, like, a Princess Peach cosplaying prostitute. That's what I'm thinking.
Sounds like a plan.
Go do special mushrooms from the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yep.
Drugs.
I'd get a little one-up, if you know what I mean.
Ho, ho, ho. This isn't a family podcast anymore.
Kind of is. We're censoring it.
Not really. We're making a bunch of very straightforward implications. Making a bunch of really bad double entendres.
I could make them more straightforward, but I won't.
I used the term prostitute and then said magic mushrooms.
Yes, you did. I forgot about that.
But yes, Nintendo. They're going to do things. Hopefully. Okay.
Hopefully. Maybe they can actually name a good console.
We too. That's what it should have been named.
Yeah, great. I remember when the Wii was supposed to be called the Revolution, which sounds way fucking better than the Wii.
No, that's a stupid name. Revolution's a dumb name.
Get out of here.
You got any burning topics you want to discuss? Got any videos you're working on that you want to talk about more than the fact that you're working on a Sonic 06 video and therefore putting yourself through that torture?
I'm currently working on a month of Zelda videos, which is very fun because I love Zelda. Zelda's cool.
Is the month of Zelda an actual thing, or is that just you're taking PBG's thing? Is it in the same month?
No, it's in a different month.
Oh, but that is not a real thing.
I don't know why he did his, but I did mine on the same month that the very first Zelda game was released in Japan.
Alrighty then.
Yep, so mine has a reason. The reason was also a little bit because I just wanted to make a ton of Zelda videos and have an excuse to do it.
Fair enough.
I wasn't going to do it this year, but a bunch of people were like, you should do it again. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
I can't get into Zelda videos. I will promise you one thing. There will only ever be one reason a Zelda video will show up on my channel, and it's going to be because a new Zelda game comes out and I review it. But I'm never going to like...
Hyrule Warriors.
Man, I'm super stoked on that.
Same
in
here.
that I love Dynasty Warriors, so...
Dynasty Warriors. Such good childhood memories.
Such good... 6 months ago, I was playing Dynasty Warriors.
Me and my friend always used to play, and he always used to pick Lubu. Every time.
I played Warriors Orochi Hyper Edition for the Wii U with my friend, because I bought a Wii U and didn't have anything else to play, so we played that, and I was like, oh man, I forgot how much I love Dynasty Warriors.
Never have too much Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah. People get mad that Call of Duty is, like, always a rehash and comes out as the same game every year. You've never played Dynasty Warriors then, because Dynasty Warriors comes out every couple of years and is literally the same game with the same characters with the same story.
And a lot of the time, the same levels.
And the same levels. And I'll buy every one of them. They should just release a new one every year and just, like, update one texture and be like, we're good, new game.
Hey, look, Lubu has 2 swords now instead of 1.
No, they're based off actual historical people. You can't change their weaponry.
But they did.
Damn it.
The first game he had, like, a spear pick, and then in another game he had, like, 2 that formed into, like, this giant X thing.
That's insane.
I know.
I love that game. I love it so much.
It's so good. That just means Hyrule Warriors is going to be the best thing ever.
You know it. Wow. I don't know if it's going to be the best thing ever. I'm willing to admit they're not very good games.
Okay, it'll be amazing, super fun, especially if it's multiplayer. Online. I will play that nonstop. I will buy a Wii U just for that.
Oh,
except
do it.
I'll go to Nintendo and I'll make them change the name of the console because I don't want to own something called a Wii U.
Nah, you should buy one to play Monster Hunter with me.
I don't play Monster Hunter.
It's because you don't know how great it is.
This is true.
I should do a month of Monster Hunter. You can do a month of Zelda, I'll do a month of Monster Hunter. And it'll just be the same video 4 times.
Just upload the same thing. People won't get confused at all.
It'll be like a 30-second video where I just say, I played this for 400 hours last year. 400 hours. The game came out in March. I played this for 400 hours, man. 400 hours? 400 hours, man. How do you not like it? 400 hours of Monster Hunter in fucking 1 year, man. Not even. So good. Buy this.
That's a lot of hours.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think that's enough hours.
Nah. Well, I mean, it's more now because
I think you need to hit like 1K.
Soon.
1,000 hours of hunting monsters.
Well, that's only in Monster Hunter 3U that I played 400 hours last year. So
isn't like the Monster Hunter 4 coming up? 4 or something, 4 Ultimate or some shit like that coming out for the 3DS.
Yep, 2015.
I bet you're excited for that.
I would rather see a Wii U version of Monster Hunter 4 than a 3DS version, because hunting monsters is like an hour commitment, and
Very true.
I'm so not into that for a handheld. Like, I have a bunch of time where I only have like half an hour, and that's just not enough time to go kill a monster. So I would, or at least potentially isn't enough time, because some of those monsters, those fights take the whole 50 minutes. So yep. I would way rather see a Wii U version of that, because I think the Monster Hunter plays really well on the Wii U with the gamepad. But they also announced that they're looking into releasing Monster Hunter Online to other markets, so that might be coming to the West, and then I can pay for an MMO again. Because I gotta hunt all of the monsters, all of them, hunt them dead.
Oh yeah, another game I've been playing recently, Paper Mario Sticker Stars. Not that great of a game.
No, it didn't look that good.
I'd say play it, but you don't have to beat it if you don't want to. It's definitely worth a play, but
didn't they get rid of like all of the RPG stuff that was good?
Yeah. It's like you can't really think of it like Paper Mario or like Paper Mario 1000 Year Door. It's kind of like a new experience, kind of like Super Paper Mario was.
That is disappointing.
I think Super Paper Mario is a great game, though.
They should just make they should make the 2000 Year Door.
They should just make a new game and not name it that, because that would just make me believe more that whoever names shit at Nintendo is fucking retarded.
No, that's a great name. It's a perfect name. It could be the 1000 Year French Door, because then you have 2 doors.
Oh.
I'm thinking.
You get 2 separate paths now. 2 different endings. Got like massive.
Hire me, Nintendo. I come up with better names than you do. Those were terrible names. So, I think it's about time that we wrap this up.
Yeah.
For this week. Thank you, Joe, for coming on. I don't even have to say that anymore. You're going to be on every week.
I'm going to be here forever.
Forever. And this podcast never ends. It goes forever. So,
ready for more of me.
Thanks for joining me as my new permanent co-host, because Tyler can't do it anymore. He's just too busy.
I'm making a stupid face in the camera.
I was hoping he was going to be here this week.
Anyone not watching the video podcast can't see that.
No, they're not. They don't watch the video. Who needs the video when you got audio? It's like video.
Yeah.
But you don't see it.
You just hear my sexy voice.
Sexy.
All right. Let's continue with this sign off.
Yes, let's get this sign off done. Or we could go for another 20 minutes. That has happened before.
Forever.
It's happening right now. So, I've been Ryan. He has been Joe.
Yeah.
And this has been the 47th episode of the Dapper Gaming Podcast for February 10th. And thank you, ladies and germs. Ho 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 ho. Get my terrible joke. And we'll see you guys next week. And by see, you'll listen to us and see us. We don't interact with you.